everyone, welcome to another track guide. This time we're in Sebring with the Audi GT3. Like usual, I'll show the uninterrupted Hotlap first, and then we'll get into the track guide. So for turn one, I'm getting as close to this wall on the right as possible, and I'm aiming to brake just before this little indentation in the wall. If you notice, the wall starts to goes to the right, and then it starts going back to the left. So I'm using this as my braking marker. This corner is tricky because it's blind, the apex. However, there is a conveniently placed cone, which is where you want your vision to be after you start braking, and ultimately this is where you want to begin picking the throttle back up. You really want to get as close to this wall as you can when you apex. Just make sure that you don't bump it, because even the slightest bump can push you out wide. And then on the exit here, just try to stay off the dirt, as you can get an off track there. So here I'm braking at the three cones, and I'm shifting down to third gear. It's important to pick up the throttle before this curb on the left here ends, and I'm cutting a bit of it. And you want to cut this curb on the inside here. I'm modulating the throttle so I can position the car all the way to the right to open up the next corner, which leads to a long straight. I'm braking just after that little curb on the right side. Very light braking here. You just want to get the car pointed in the right direction. Important not to touch this curb on the left, as it's quite elevated and it can push the car wide on exit. Once again, try to avoid going into the dirt too much, as there is a 1X out there. So for the hairpin, I'm braking at the 4 set of cones. I'm shifting down quite aggressively to first gear, utilizing all the engine braking. Super important that you're getting the right side tires on the inside curb as you pick up the throttle. Just try not to engage the TC as much as you can on the exit. There's lots of time to be gained here. You can also cut a little bit of the curb on the left Just be careful if you take too much into the dirt there. There is a 1x there as well. So for this corner, I'm aiming to brake between the 4 cones and the 3 cones, so right in the middle here. Once again, getting really close to this curb. I'm trying not to take much of it as it's quite elevated again. I'm cutting over this curb a little bit to help shorten the distance. Now through this segment here, I'm trying to keep the car to the left because you want to make sure you can position the car in time so you can brake in a straight line for the upcoming corner. So yeah, here you don't want to be to the right side here. You want to make sure the car is to the left so you can brake in a nice straight line. And I'm braking after the 3 cones here. Shifting down to third, using a bit of that curb on the left on the entry. Super important to, I guess, not miss this apex here because it's there's no grip on the outside as it's really off camber. So you'll lose loads of time if you miss this apex. So super important that you're getting as close to this curb as you can, once again without going over it. And once again, trying not to get too much into the dirt here. You can utilize all of this curb here on the exit. Through here, I'm just keeping the car to the left a little bit, just to shorten the distance. You don't have to be all the way to the right-hand side. This corner, I'm braking right at the 3 cones. I'm shifting down to third gear. And also important to brush this inside curb. You don't want to go all the way over it because it's quite elevated towards the right on the inside of it, and it has a tendency to kind of hook onto the tire and it can really unsettle the car. So for this corner, you can go to the left quite a bit here. I'm aiming to brake right as this patch of concrete kind of changes color, goes from the lighter shade to the darker shade. I'm kind of using that as a reference, but you can use a lot of this runoff to the left here to open up the corner. And I'm keeping it in third gear as well. Once again, you don't want to go completely over this curb as it's quite elevated. On the exit, try to stay out of the dirt once again. So for sunset, I'm braking, well actually I'm steering into the corner first after the 2 cones. Then I begin braking. You don't want to brake first, then steer. So the key here is you want to follow, or you want to go outside of this white line just a little bit with your left side tires. I'm downshifting kind of slowly here, especially in the Audi. If you downshift too quickly, you can easily lose the rear. So make sure you're really timing your downshifts quite late. I'm going down to third gear here. I'm apexing at this first part of the barrier here, and this is when I want to begin picking up the throttle. Ideally, you want to be on a complete, on full throttle before this bridge. And that's a lap around Sebring. Once again, I hope you guys found this helpful. Good luck in your races this week, and I'll see you next week.